In this video, we are going to introduce you to our new integrated Cyber Resilience Hub solution. Appranix Cyber Resilience integrates a proven full-stack cyber scanning solution as part of the cloud environment protection workflow. This non-intrusive integrated full scanning helps organizations to periodically identify golden copies of the cloud environments with their precious application data. After a ransomware attack, Appranix Copilot rebuilds isolated cloud clean rooms with all the cloud resources, their dependencies, and the application data using recovery as code. Appranix Cyber Resilience Hub integrates application environment backup, data replication, and full-stack non-intrusive scanning for an industry-first comprehensive cyber resilience solution. You can scale this solution without having to invest a ton of resources or cloud knowledge in 6 easy steps. 1. Connect your cloud environments for an agentless discovery of all the resources. 2. Protect all the resources, along with their dependencies and the application data in sync, so the application architecture is intact for rebuilds after an attack. 3. You can make an automated virtual clone of application environment. 4. Appranix solution comes with an integrated open-source Alien Vault OTX scanning system that is community-sourced with 30,000 and growing pulses. 5. After scanning the entire environment for any proof of the attack, if you deem the environment clean, you can mark a golden copy in Appranix for that particular point in time. This automatically gives you a free recovery test as well. 6. If you believe your environment has been attacked, you can invoke a cyber disaster recovery process where Appranix will rebuild an isolated clean room from the golden copy using our patented dual vault cloud time machine with recovery as code with minimum input from your teams. This demo uses an OpenEMR application deployed on AWS in one of the West regions. Based on policies, Appranix backs up all the cloud resources configurations in an immutable configuration vault and also replicates OpenEMR application data spread across various instances and DBs to AWS's East region and keeps the data in an immutable data vault for point-in-time recovery. An instance of the Alien Vault OTX is used to scan for ransomware pulses in a simulated attack scenario after taking a virtual clone of the environment on the West Coast. While the production environment continues to operate in the West region, you can simulate the rebuild of the clean room from a point-in-time golden copy as if a ransomware attack has occurred. Watch how the entire Appranix along with OTX can be implemented in your cloud environment for a comprehensive cyber resilience solution. OpenEMR application hosted in the AWS environment on the AWS US West region. OpenEMR is a multi-tier web application for hospitals, leveraging a range of AWS services, EC2 instances, EBS, application and network load balancers, database services, Route 53, VPC and other core services to run with 99.9% or higher SLA. Downtime due to a cyber attack, such as a ransomware attack on this application environment, not only affects revenue to hospitals, but also affects the health of the patients. We'll highlight some of the AWS services we have used to run the OpenEMR application. It is important to clone the entire application environment to run the OTX cyber scanning solution. We use a VPC named OTX VPC. With CIDR range 10.0.0.0/16 having 2 public subnets in 2 different zones. Compute, 3 EC2 instances are being used, 2 for hosting the OpenEMR application, and 1 for my SQL server. We use an application load balancer for our application, which redirects to a target group, which points to the 2 application instances. We have added an DNS entry on Route 53 for our application OpenEMR.eShop.appranix.info in a public zone. The OpenEMR CC1 is the cloud connection we have used. US East 2 and US West 2 are configured as the operational regions for the selected cloud connection. Under the discovered resource in our primary region US West 2, the VPC, instance, and application load balancer have been discovered successfully. Under shared cloud connection, we have connected a cloud connection named OpenEMR CC2, which is associated with our cyber recovery AWS account to perform cross-account recovery. US East 2 and US West 2 are configured as the operational regions for the selected cloud connection. Here we will use the US East 2 region as our cyber recovery region for this demo. This is the cyber recovery AWS account created in the US East 2 to isolate the cloned environment completely away from the production location. There is no infrastructure necessary until a recovery testing is needed. As you can see, there are no EC2 instances in the region. Resources are completely on demand to decrease the cost of cyber resilience testing. Click the Create Cloud Assembly button from the top right. Choose AWS Cloud. Fill in the name and description. Choose the Open EMRCC1 cloud connection. Select the primary region as US West 2 for the Cloud Assembly Enable, Allow Cross-Region Recovery option, and Allow Cross-Account Protection option. Select US East 2 as the recovery region. Click Next. Click on Select VPC and choose the OTX VP using the entire VPC. You can protect the selected VPC entirely. Click Next. In the Protection Strategy session, leave it as default and click Next. Now select the appropriate backup policy based on the frequency you want your resource and its data to be backed up. Choose Next. Verify the assembly configuration and click Finish. Now you have successfully created a cloud assembly. Once the assembly discovery is completed, we can see how our resources are mapped in the Cloud Assembly in the Resources tab. To create a protection policy on the assembly page, click Policies. Once there, click on Create Protection Policy. Choose from Policy Template under the Protection Policy type. To create a weekly policy, which will create a weekly backup for the protected resources, select a policy that has type Weekly. To create a daily policy, which will create a daily backup for the protected resources, select a policy that has type Daily. To create an hourly policy, which will create an hourly backup for the protected resources, select a policy which has type Hourly. Select Immediately to trigger one timeline immediately. Click Save. On the Cloud Assembly page, under Timeline, you can view all the timelines for each policy you have configured. Select the latest timeline for daily policy. In the primary region's cloud service resources, you can view all the resources that have been protected. Under the recovery region's cloud service resources, you can view all the protected resources in the recovery region of the same account. Similarly, in the shared cloud connections cloud service resources, you can view all the protected resources in the recovery region of the DR account. In OTX Alien Vault dashboard, under the Malware Cluster Visualization pane, we will be able to see the malware cluster. The red circles represent high-severity malware. In Browse section, we can see all the pulses, users, indicators, etc. Let us search for ransomware. Choose Recently Created as the sort method. This will list the latest pulses. Let us select one. In this, we can see the list of indicators for these pulses. Indicators will be reflected as soon as it is updated in the pulse database. In each indicator, we can see when it has been updated. In the Cloud Assembly page, click Actions from the top right corner and select Configuration. Here we will be using a post-recovery webhook to update the DNS name of the application load balancer in the public DNS zone. These webhooks trigger HTTP/HTTPS post calls to specified URLs. To trigger a recovery, click on the Timeline pane in the Cloud Assembly page. Select the latest timeline for the hourly policy configured, and on the top right corner, click Recover. Enter the name for the recovery. Select Cross-Account as the recovery type. Verify the shared cloud connection. Choose the recovery region and choose a new VPC option. Select the entire assembly type and click Recover. Now our resources will be recovered in the Cyber Recovery account. Now, recovery has been completed successfully. In AWS Console, we will be able to see the CloudFormation stack being deployed. Click the stack. Go to Templates and click on View in Designer. Here you can view the whole infrastructure being deployed. In the EC2 instance page, we can see all our instances have been recovered. And our application load balancer have also been recovered with the target group and targets. In the Route 53 public zone, the record value has been changed to the new load balancer's DNS name. Let us check whether our application is available. Here we can see our application is up and running. Now we need to install the OTX Alien Vault agent into the recovered instances. The OTX Alien Vault agent is a tool that sends data to the Open Threat Exchange for threat analysis and shares result for manual review. To install the agent, copy the command from the OTX dashboard. So, we have connected to the first application instance through RDP. Open the PowerShell as administrator and paste the copied command to install the agent. Now the agent will be installed in this instance. Similarly, we should install this agent in the other two instances also. Once the agents are installed, we can view the instances in Alien Vault's Installed Endpoints pane. Now in Alien Vault's Scan Endpoints tab, navigate to the Installed Endpoints pane. We can see our 3 machines along with the list of machines where the agents are installed. To run a scan, click Run a Scan pane. Select Scan by Pulse. Search for needed pulses. And click Run Scan with selected pulses. Once the scan is complete, we will be able to see the results. In the Scan History pane, we can see the status of our scan. Our scan has been completed. Here we can see that no matches were found. So now we can assure you that there is no malware present in our machines. Therefore, we can lock this timeline as security scanned golden copy. Now we can reset the recovered resources. In the Cloud Assembly page, under the Timelines pane, click on the timeline that we recovered. Here, click on Recovery pane. Click the menu icon on the right side of the recovery, and click Reset Now. Now the recovered resources will be deleted from the Cyber Recovery account. To lock the timeline, in the Timelines pane, choose the recovered timeline. On the top right corner, click Actions. And Lock. If we lock a timeline in Appranix, that particular timeline will be retained. The timeline we choose here is the ransomware-free timeline that we can recover in the Cyber Recovery region. Now we have successfully locked the timeline. In the Repository pane, we can view all the active timelines and recoveries. We can compare 2 timelines using the Configuration Drift feature. It helps users to easily track changes made to their cloud resources by comparing 2 timelines, ensuring better visibility and control over their infrastructure. Turn on the Config Drift, select the 2 timelines that need to be compared, and click Compare Now. Here we can see the differences between the 2 timelines. Now we can see a security group has been added to our infrastructure. In the Repository pane, click Recoveries. Here we can see the active recoveries. In the right corner of the recovery, click Menu and click PDF Report. In the downloaded report, we can see all the details regarding the recovery. In case of any ransomware attack, we can recover the environment using the locked timeline. In the Timelines pane, under Lock Timelines, click the locked timeline. In the top right corner, we click Recover to recover our resources. This way, we can achieve cyber resilience through Appranix. Thank you.